Guys, before I even start this video, I want to put you on game on female nature real quick.
Okay, I like him, but I'm trying to understand why we have so many men that think that they are an expert on female nature. Okay, men such as Steve Harvey, Dr. Phil, and
It's your boy Soul Immortal.
so, like I said, I like Soul Immortal, okay? But on this one, I'm going to have to beg to differ due to the fact that, I do not believe that what he is teaching is, the female nature, because he is a man and does not have a way of knowing the female nature, okay? And so I think that what he is putting people up on is exactly what he is saying he's putting them up on, which is game. Okay, but the female nature, Mr. Soul Immortal, is not a game. Okay?
There are some pros to female nature, right? Now, one of those pros is that a woman can serve as a gauge for a man. In other words, a woman can let a man know where he vibrates, what frequency he vibrates on, right? Because you have to understand, a woman is a direct reflection of a man, right?
So I want y'all to pay attention to how confident he is when he starts out saying how a woman is a direct reflection of a man. Okay, that is until he gets to the part where she is reflecting back to that man his own shadows. Check it out.
And this is the thing about female nature. A woman only has the ability to see traits in a man that she has in herself. That's why a woman is a reflection of you. So in other words, guys, if you want to know what you're really dealing with, ask that woman, what do you see in me? And what she's going to tell you is exactly who she is, guys. So that's free game.
So if a man asks a woman what she sees in him, her answer is going to be actually what she is. So she would essentially be describing herself, and yet she is a direct reflection of him. So what he's saying essentially is that when a woman looks at a man, all she has the ability to see is herself.
I have to give some free game to the women as well, right? And this is something my grandmother taught me, I want to say when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, right? And she said, if a woman really wants to know if a man is who he say he is, she said, all a woman has to do is go look in that man's closet. She said, once a woman sees that a part of a man that the world is just closed off to, it's gonna tell that woman everything she needs to know about that man. So if you want to know anything about your man, if you want to know that if he is who he say he is, just go take a look in his closet.
I present to you the closet of a sociopath. So if a woman was to be looking in the closet for everything that she needs to know about a man, what would this closet tell that woman about a man, other than how important it is for him to keep up appearances?
And I can tell you that ever since I've heard him, and I've tried to make an effort to keep my closet dressed. And I can tell when I do that my life is in that exact same order. So, boom, again, free game.
So before we go forward, I want to remind you guys that his theory is that a woman is a direct reflection of a man. Okay, so if we are a direct reflection of the man, then what part of the man is the woman reflecting when this happens?
Woe is me! It is the frequency screamed out by the masses of women, brothers, that feel like either a man has taken advantage of them or done them wrong in some way, right? But I'm telling you guys, the victim mentality in women is a key indicator that lets you know that you either are or were standing on death's front door. Let's talk about it.
I can't stand the sight of you, and you can't stand the thought that when my body weakens, I'll be gone before the sun comes up.
So brothers, I just made a video about men and accountability, right? And in my opinion, If a brother doesn't have this trait, he can't consider himself amongst the upper echelon of men, right? Now, when I talk about accountability, it has to cover every part of a man's life, right? When a man is talking about his family, he has to be accountable. When a man is talking about his finances, he has to be accountable. Even when a man is talking about the relationships of his past, he has to take accountability. Now, over the last decade, I've dated some great women, right? Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, so if these women were so great, then why aren't they still there? Now, the reason I consider these women great, because I only choose to focus on the good, right? Now, despite these women being cheaters, being liars, even stealing money from my home, I still only choose to see the good. Now, did I learn from these different situations? Of course I did. But me as a man, I have to take accountability for everything that takes place in my life. Now, in my opinion, being the victim in any situation is a female trait to me. Matter of fact, it's not even a female trait. It's strictly a 95% trait. See, every man has a woman from his past that feels like she was the perfect woman while he was the narcissist. But what you'll learn is the 95% woman never takes accountability.
This is the same woman now that is a direct reflection of the man, okay?
The 95% woman never says, what was my role in the breakup? You have no idea how many brothers I talked to over the last couple of years. They have the exact same story, including myself, right? So you're in a relationship, and for whatever reason, things are not happening as they should, and you two break up.
Okay, so let's not skirt over the whole breakup situation, because the breakup and the way that you two broke up, okay, is usually the reason why the woman still has ill feelings, okay? Because a narcissistic male will have broken a woman's heart by ghosting her or getting caught cheating, and then want to dismiss her feelings about it by saying, we broke up, when the truth is the woman had absolutely nothing to do with the decisions that he selfishly made for both of them without her input, and she had no choice but to accept it. Okay, so let's just keep it a buck.
And then over time, you'll find yourself either happily single or you find yourself in another relationship, and then boom, the ex is back in your life somehow.
Ain't no somehow. She's back in your life because she never left your life. You left hers with no closure.
Now, she's definitely coming back.
Just as surely as karma is coming back.
See, you have these women that have been in your life, man. They'll go out and they'll talk reckless about you. They'll talk about you're a narcissist. They'll talk about you're the devil. But at the same time, they can't stop talking about you.
If someone came into your home and took all of your valuables by way of lies and deceit, you probably wouldn't stop talking about them too soon either. You know how they still talk about the Grinch that stole Christmas? Yeah, it's kind of like that.
One thing you can guarantee is she'll never talk about the good, right?
If your relationship ended with you being ghosted or being cheated on, everything that you thought was good has been erased. Who gets their heart broken in the end and still wants to talk about the good in the beginning? In the beginning, you were being love bombed, and by the end, you had figured that out. So what good is there to talk about?
Like she'll never talk about how when she was in your life, she didn't have to want for anything, right? She'll never talk about when her family members were on their deathbed and you made sure everybody was good. You were doing things outside of your jurisdiction to make sure everybody was good, right? She won't talk about, if she had a son or if she had a daughter that didn't have a father in their life, but their child had the ability to look to you for guidance. See, she won't talk about all these things, right?
So the fact that he was there for you when your grandma died and helped raise your children for the 2 or 3 years that he was there should surpass the fact that at the end of the day, he ultimately abandoned you or cheated on you and put some other person's needs before you, your children, and your grandma. Okay? Because if she was being treated so good, I'd be really interested to know why and how did the relationship end. I can guarantee that her side of the story will be completely different from his. Okay?
All she talks about is he was a narcissist. He was a ball of evil. But like I said, guys, a woman is just a direct reflection
of maybe a part of something that's in you.
Wait, what? But you said that
a woman is a direct reflection of a man.
So a woman is a direct reflection of a man, okay? Until, of course, she starts to reflect back his narcissistic behavior. It is at this time that a woman becomes
Of maybe a part of something that's in you.
maybe a part of something that is in you. My mama always told me to pay attention to people's eyes. Eyes reveal a lot. Now I want you guys to pay attention to his eyes as I slow this clip down, and you'll be able to see that he was either beginning to question if what he was saying was true, or he was saying something that he knew was not true. Check it out.
Of maybe a part of something that's in you.
So, which is it? I mean, when she is not reflecting narcissism, then she's considered to be
A direct reflection of a man.
So notice the confidence that he says it with the first time and the lack of shifty eye movement. And then when he begins to talk about narcissism, his whole definition of what a woman is becomes a bit obscure, to say the least.
But it's a direct reflection of who she is. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, sir, I don't know what you're saying. Either the woman is a direct reflection of the man at all times, or she is a piece of something that might be a part of you. Yeah, that's what we call gaslighting, okay? Now, I'm not trying to break this brother down. I'm really not. But, I just have to say what I'm seeing here, okay? So, anytime a person has just said some bullshit and they're trying to process it, in their minds, and also trying to ascertain how well it will be received by the listener, there's always a level of cognitive dissonance there, okay? And this is when we see the shaking of the head back and forth, because there is a disagreement going on within, okay?
I'm telling you, brother, these are some of the oldest tricks in the book.
Yes, they are some of the oldest tricks in the book. And tricks are for kids, honey.
And trust me,
My advice would be to trust yourself, especially if you're a woman wanting to know about a woman's nature. How would a man be able to teach you about that?
and what I mean by that is, if you want to know if the woman that you're dealing with is a Proverbs 5 woman, then really all you have to do is look at the Soul Train line of men in her lives. And when I say that, pun is intended, I'm literally talking about the line of souls that this woman has left in her past. And I'm not just talking about relationships. I'm talking about all the men in her life, right?
This is why you can't learn about a woman's nature from a man. According to him, if you want to know what type of person that a man is, all you got to do is look in his closet, okay? But if you want to know about the nature of a woman, all you got to do is look at the Soul Train line of men and souls that she has left in her past. So while you looking in the closet, okay, and thinking that because it's very neat and well put together in appearance, that this is what you're going to get, he got you looking in the closet. Not only is he cheating, he's looking into your past and judging you for having dealt with men like him. And it is these factors that determines your ranking as a woman in this man's mind, okay?
So the men in her life, or are they world changers? Are they a positive example to this world? Are they giving back? Are they making a change in society?
And not to be tit for tat, but let's ask that same question about the women he's dealt with in his past.
Now, despite these women being cheaters, being liars, even stealing money from my home.
So no, they weren't life changers or changing society either, okay?
I still only choose to see the good. Now, did I learn from these different situations? Of course I did. But me as a man, I have to take accountability for everything that takes place in my life.
Which is something that a narcissist would never do, okay? And so unless we know how and why the relationships ended, like was there a talk, was there closure, was there cheating, was there a ghosting? Did one of the parties have to escape domestic violence? There's a lot of factors that go into, especially dealing with narcissism, okay? And so a very clever, intelligent narcissist where it bleeds over into sociopathy and psychopathy. These people tend to be extremely intelligent and clever. And so, I could imagine, a very clever narcissist understanding that, yes, I must take accountability for the things that have happened in my life. And so since I have to take accountability for the things that have happened in my life, I'm only going to focus on the quote unquote good things that have happened in my life. Okay. And I'm going to be in absolute denial of the quote unquote bad or negative things that have happened. Okay. And so, because if I accept the negative things, then that means that I have to accept that there is a part of you that is being reflected here. Okay. And so therefore, I'm not going to reflect anything but the good. Now, we know dealing with a narcissist, the quote unquote good part of your relationship was all a lie. It was love bombing. It was lies. It was deception. Okay. And so that was like the beginning of your relationship where you were being love bombed. Okay. So if we were to hold on to the quote unquote good part of the relationship, we would be holding on to a lie. We would be holding on to lies and deceptions and something that's not real. What is real, however, is the fact that this person, was disloyal, that they cheated on you, that they were abusive, and that at the end of the day, you may have been left in limbo, left with no excuse, apology, explanation, or understanding of what has even happened. Okay. You also may have been blamed for the actions that another person decided to take without your input at all. Okay. So if you have been dealing with a diabolical narcissist, this is most likely your situation. Okay. So in order to be able to, take the meat and leave the bones of a situation like that, what you would end up having to do is just throw the whole narcissist away. Okay. Because at the end of the day, there is no good part of the situation to keep. Okay. Again, you were being lied to. You were being deceived in the beginning when you thought that things were good. And so at the end of the day, what you end up having to do when you're dealing with a diabolical narcissist is to, like I said, come to terms with the loss, completely cut the cord on your emotion, which takes more time and effort than most people are willing to do. There is a healing that needs to happen. There is inner child work. There is shadow work that needs to happen. There is a healing that needs to take place from the inside out because you have been broken. This requires a whole lot of self-care, so much self-care that you don't have time to focus on anything else. So one thing I do agree with Mr. Soul Immortal about is this.
What you need to do is take all the negative, whether there was lying, cheating, stealing, whatever, take all of that and learn from it, but then let it go. Because to hold on to that, guys, I'm telling you, it's a poison.
So like I said, if you've been dealing with a diabolical narc and you don't have anything good that you wish to hold on to, just throw the whole narc away, memories, emotions, and all. Okay? And though this is easier said than done, I am living proof that it can be done. Once you've created a vacuum in your life by removing the narcissist, memories, emotions, and all, focusing on things of a higher vibration, higher vibratory things will come in to fill the empty space. Okay? The reason I believe that women should learn from other women about women is because those same men that ran off and left you with no explanation and then blamed you for everything that happened and expect you to hold yourself accountable for what they did, these are the kinds of stories that they are telling amongst themselves.
One thing that I think that we can learn from the Bible is the story about our brother Lot, right? Now in Genesis, you remember the story where Lot and his family, were leaving to transition toward a new life. They were headed outside of the city. But for some reason, the woman and Lot's wife, she couldn't quite vibrate on that frequency where they were going, right? Now what his wife did was look back to their old life. She wanted to talk about the old things and all this stuff. And the Bible said just boom, she turned into a pillar of salt. But Lot was a wise man. He kept it moving forward. And despite whatever was going on, he kept his mind on the abundance life and kept it moving. So what we can learn from Lot is stay on the path and don't be looking back at salty women.
So if Lot's wife was a direct reflection of Lot, and she was turned to a pillar of salt, the salt of the earth from which she had come, Lot, however, ran to the mountains, ended up getting drunk and having sex with his own daughters, and then, like the typical narcissist, Lot blamed his daughters for what happened. Okay, so the moral to the story here, Divine Feminine, would be to never allow someone else to tell your story. You tell your own story to ensure that the whole truth is told, and not just the part of the story that vindicates the narcissist. Peace.